We will start the Human Week Summit with a very exciting conversation. I have two valuable guests. On one hand, we have Mr. Murat here together with me, who is a well-recognized global businessman. On the other hand of the line is Perttu from Finland, and Mr. Ülker, who is chairman at Pledis and Godivia and board member at Yıldız Holding. Welcome, both of you. And Mr. Ülker, what will be the three main traits you would look for when you are hiring a new employee? The main three skills that you would want to see.
First, the guy must have intention and commitment to the job. If you don't really like it, it makes no meaning of working together or teaming up. It's not possible. Second thing is, it must not be something hypothetical for the potential of the person. So he must be already skilled, or maybe if not, then you must train him to get equipped to that level. So we cannot bring up people because people we are hiring are already adults, not teenagers. So that's not our job as industry, I believe. But of course, we have to contribute to education and training. That's another thing. And the last thing is not to be only patient, but hard workers. Because I still believe, though with less working time, more flexibility in working hours, telework, all these things is only making me and my team, as I observe, working harder. So telework, we can do a lot more things in a day, so many meetings. At the end, I'm still home, but I want to get out. I'm exhausted. If I'm in the office, I can go home. So hard working is the name of the game, I believe, but it is not, that you physically work. Sometimes you just lay down. As you study, you can lay down on the office, on the floor and still work. That's possible.
You made great points, like talking about the skills of the people and potential of the people, but that also raised a question in my mind. Because, who wouldn't want to work with skilled workforce? Of course, everybody wants to do that, but should companies hire people with the skills, which is rare, or in a way, the companies have the responsibility to create those talents and skills for the potential employers?
Yes, you're right. That is why I said we have to bring in the means, like we have the Analytical Yıldız Academy. So we can bring up people, existing workforce, to a level where they have all these new big data analytics and all these things. These tools they can understand. They can understand the expressions. They know what it is and they can make use of it. Otherwise, with the newcomers, there will not be any communication. That's not possible anymore. But the newcomers also must respect the experience and gain the experience of the existing. For example, I'll give you an example. The family company we have is only 75 years old. But the experience we have in our history is starting from 1800 because we acquired many brands and companies. So the total experience we have in the company, not a history, but experience is 350 years old. So I am 351 years old as a baker. And everybody can get experience. That's easy. They learn from me. They are already 352 years old and they can go on themselves.
So people working with you are very lucky, I can say that.
Hopefully they don't feel old.
Well, it's very important, as you were saying, balancing the technology with the people and knowing how to analyze the big data and learning from it, and also respecting the experience is very crucial. Turning back to the skills, Perttu, you grew up in Finland, where we witnessed the world's most amazing education program. So do you think the skills are earned in the school, acquired in the family, or is it genetic? What kind of process have you been through to get all the skills that you have?
Yes, I think learning happens everywhere. So we should not mistake or let education come in the way of learning, so to speak. We learn at home, we learn at hobbies, we learn at school. And obviously, there's so many things to learn that school cannot just cover everything. So there are other things as well we should be learning and using time to. But I think the challenge with many skills, these human skills, future skills, is that they are not very easy to measure. I mean, when you go to a school, there you have tests and you get grades and you are being evaluated. And, we have standard tests and so on. But when we talk about these more abstract skills like curiosity or storytelling or passion and so on, you cannot really make a test for them. I mean, well, maybe you can make a test that you cannot evaluate or say your curiosity level is now B or your, personality is C It doesn't work like that. So I think the challenge we have, or the mindset maybe we have learned from school, is that it only exists if I can measure it, or if I can show it on a paper, if I get a degree out of it. But there are a lot of capabilities, a lot of competence that you can acquire with non-kind of formal ways. And I think in today's world, we have to be kind of careful. We have to be good in spotting if somebody has very crucial, important, wonderful skills. Let's say he or she is a good team player. That's a very important skill, really helps everybody, but they cannot show a test result or a degree, for that. So we have to kind of being able to see that kind of competence in people, even though it's not in traditional form. I mean, if let's say somebody comes to a job interview and says, I'm curious, I'm creative, I'm empathetic. These are wonderful traits, and everybody would want to have a person like this work for them. But this person cannot show a test result for these skills. So do we believe, this person, or like, how do we make sure that, he or she has these skills, he or she is claiming? So I think this is something we need to kind of remember. Learning happens everywhere, and not all learning can be presented in a formal, traditional manner, but still it's crucial.
Thank you. And Mr. Lker, being more than 100 years old in experience, how do you think these skills are learned or gained?
What I do normally, I try to team up with old and young people where I can learn something from them. And what I do, many people doesn't accept. I just take everything right, absorb it, and then put in practice. And then I oriented myself, or I change according to my experience, what I learn. Then it is my experience. Because it is always said, you remember, if the youngsters did know, if the elders could do it. So that is maybe a merging position. So we can both do something good. Because as a philosophy, my philosophy in my life is make happy, be happy. So you respect people, you learn from them, then you make them happy, then you can deserve to be happy.
That's great. Make them happy and be happy.
That's the only way.
So then can you explain us more about what we are doing at Yıldız Holding?
Not much anymore. We have to just look for the new capabilities and skills, but also for new jobs, which we never had. So we are trying to have digital transformers, digital champions, data navigators. We try to just have university students making projects for us. So we'd like to train everybody at every level. So even myself, I have some KPIs for me on social media, which I give up at the end because I had one tweeted reach 12 million people. I give up because then I will be most probably held responsible for tweeting or not tweeting. Socially. So we change our work, we change requirements of the work, and that helps us a lot. So to give you an example, in Turkey, most of our pop and mom stores, traditional stores, snack stores, independent groceries, they order now digitally to us. Such a big change and such a big saving. Because what I believe, competition and efficiency and effectiveness is a game never ends. So how you can be more efficient, more competitive every day, that has an end. Because, for example, penetration, if you have 98% penetration in the market, you are available everywhere. So what you have to do? So you cannot ask people, add 2 more percentage. So what we go back and tell them, now change the name of the game. So we don't look anymore for penetration, but where we are in the store. So we have to be 2 placements at least, or 3 better, merchandise this way, that way. And then we start making games out of that. So send me your picture of merchandising. We put that in AI, and AI decides who does the best. Or we just circulate pictures among themselves, and globally we can do that. And then they decide even themselves who is the best merchandiser. Of course, given the sales numbers supporting. So things like this, gamification, that's another thing.
As far as I know, another philosophy of yours is being the first in competition. You're also saying that be happy, make happy and be happy, but I don't think that you are making your competitors happy.
No, they're happy, I'm sure, because if I am the first, they have the chance to be the second, which is quite compelling.